Perfect.
Hello everyone, in this chapter we are in chapter 2, 2.1. This lesson talks about translations. Now this may be new for a lot of you, so don't be stressed if you are struggling on this chapter, but it'll be okay. We'll get through it. So what can we do by the end of this chapter? We will be able to translate figures on a coordinate plane. I can identify a translation, I can find the coordinates of a translated figure, and I can also use the coordinates to translate a figure. All right, so let's get into today's lesson. What is a translation? A translation is basically a transformation. So something transforms. Think of like a transformer or the movies Transformers. It changes a figure into something else or into another figure. The new figure is called an image. Okay. Now, a translation is a transformation in which a figure slides. So I want you to think of it this way, kind of transformations is everything we're going to be talking about, and a translation is somewhere over here. So it would be part of this umbrella, right? So it would be a translation. So what exactly is a translation? A translation is something that slides, okay? It's a transformation, so it's one of these, all right? But all it does is it slides, but it doesn't turn, all right? So think of it. It goes from here to here. It didn't turn, it didn't rotate, it didn't do anything like that. It just slid over, okay? Now, every point on the figure moves the exact same distance, all right? And this will make more sense once we get to the graph. But we're gonna do some quick questions to see if we can figure out what a translation is, okay? So, is this one right here a translation? It says the red figure, right here. The red figure slides to form the blue figure. So it goes from here to here. So every single dot should have moved the exact same amount of spaces. So that goes there, and then that goes there. So that is a translation. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Is this one a translation? It goes from the red to the blue. Well, it looks like it slid over, but it also tipped over. So that is not a translation. Okay, it is not a translation. Let's do a few more. From the red to the blue, is this a translation? No, it is not. Why? Because it changed the size. Remember, translations are only sliding, okay? Is this a translation? Yes, it is. Everything moved the exact amount of space, okay? Let's get on to the next idea. And this is the most important part. That first part should be super easy. This is the part that is going to be a little bit more difficult for us. Now, translations on a coordinate plane. What is it? So we have our original figure, and I'm going to write some numbers here in colors, right? So point A is 1, 2, 3, 3 spots away. So that's -3, 1 spot up, -3 and 1. Letter B is 1 spot away. So that's 1. And then it's 1, 2, 3, 4 spots up. -1 and 4. And then C is 1, 2. So that's -2 and 1 down, which is -1. So those are those coordinates for this specific triangle. But what we want to find out is how did it get from this A to this A to this A over here. Also notice that little apostrophe over there. Those are called, the new letter would be called a prime. So it says A, oops, my bad. The way you would read this letter right here is called A prime, right? Because that's your second one. So this would be the first one, this would be the second one, and if it moved again for a third time, it would be like this. All right, and if it moved again, right, it would be, and it would keep on going depending on how many times. Now, by the end of this textbook, we'll probably get into 3, maybe even 4 different translations and transformations. So we do need to remember to keep these primes, okay? So each letter gets a prime, A prime, B prime, C prime, when we change the image, okay? Now, let's see what this question is asking us. How did it get from that A to this A? So let's take a look here. How did we get from one point to the other? I'm going to use the color green because it's a little easier to see, maybe even black. Let's say black. All right. So how did we get here? Let's see. We moved 1 spot, 2, 3, 4 spots. So we went 4 spots, or wait, I'll just do it this way. 4 to the right. And then how many did we go down? 1, 2, 3. And then we went 3 down. So if this rule applies, it should apply to all of them, all of these questions that we're about to do. So let's see, it should be 4 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3 down. 2, 3. Yep, that's correct. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 3 down. So it looks like all of them are exactly the same, how they're supposed to be. So this would be a translation. It didn't change in size, but it just went exactly how it was supposed to go. It followed the rules, 4 to the right and 3 down for every single point. Now, that is the visual way to do it. Sometimes it's easier to do it the visual way, but sometimes it's also harder because they probably won't give you the answers. Okay, so I want you to write this down in your notes. This is the easiest way to remember it. If you go, so we always go right and left first, right? So if we go to the right, or if we go up, we add. Okay, to the right and up, we add. And if you go to the left and down, you subtract. Oops, let's do it in red. Okay, so make sure you write this down. If you go right and to the up, you add, and if you go left and down, we subtract. So if you guys remember the rules, what was it? 4 to the right and 3 down. Let's take a look at this number. What is this point again? This is 1, 2, 3, right? -3 and 1. So we have, I'm just going over here, -3 and 1. All right, and then we said we went 4 to the right, so that means we're going to add 4 to this question. We're going to get a new point. And then we went 3 down, so that means we're going to subtract 3, and we're going to get a new point. So if we do -3 and +4, well, different signs, so we subtract. 4 minus 3 is 1. We have more positives than negatives, so the answer is 1. And then over here, we do 1 minus 3. We have more negatives. That would give us -2. So your new point, right? Your new point, your new A prime should technically be 1, -2. So if that's correct, let's see. Your new point would be 1, -2. And that is correct. So that the question actually happened the way we did it. So we're going to do some practice problems to see if we can figure this out. And then hopefully we can move on to the next step. All right? Here's coming up is example number 2. So here I wrote down 3 different examples that we will be going through, and we just have to follow the rules. All right, so the rule says we go 3 units down and 7 units left. So we're going to start off with our X, right? So remember, left and right, I did switch these up on you guys. Let me fix that for you really quick. So we go like that, okay? So we do 3, we're going to the left, so 3 minus 7. What is that going to give us? That's going to give us -4. That's our new point. And then it says 3 units down. So then we're going to do 4 minus 3, and that's going to give us 1. So our new point on the graph is -4 and 1. So we just followed the rules. All right, so 7 units left, right? Left and down is subtraction, and then up and, left and down are subtraction, up and right are addition, okay? So we did that one. Let's try another one. Here we go. So we have -7 and -1. And this one says you need to go 4 units to the right. So it's going to be -7 plus 4, right? Because it says to the right. And that's going to give us a -3, right? Because we have more negatives than positives. And then we have -1 plus 6. And that should give you a +5. We don't need to write positive, just 5. And that should be our new point for this coordinate. All right, let's try another one. Here we go. So this one says 3 units down, so that means we don't have to do anything to this 0. It just stays 0. And we just need to do, so it's down, so it's 2. We're doing subtraction, so when we do down, it's subtraction. So 2 minus 3 will get us -1. And this is your new coordinate. Okay? I hope this helped. Please rewatch if you have any questions. Here's our last question for this unit, 2.1. So let's see what it says. It says translate the red triangle 3 units to the right and then 3 units down. So that's going to be plus 3 and then minus 3. All right, so here are our letters. We said it's 3 units to the right, so that's my x, and then my y is going to be 3 units down. All right, so let's find what is my coordinate for this a. It's -2 and 1, right? So it's -2 and 1. And for my x and y, I'm just going to do plus 3 and then minus 3, and I should be able to get my new coordinate. All right, so it looks like different signs. So we're going to subtract 3 minus 2 is 1. We have more positives, so that's good. Different signs, we're going to subtract. 3 minus 1 is 2. We have more negatives, so that is my new point. So it should be 1, -2. All right, so there's my new a. I'm going to call that a prime. I'm also going to highlight it so you guys can see it, okay? All right, let's do letter B now. Letter B is 2, 5, so that's our new point. So we have 2 and 5, so that means we have to add 3 on this side and then subtract 3 on this side. All right, so our new point over here should be 5 and 2. All right, so let's go to 5 and 2. Here's 5, there's 2. So this should be my new C prime. Oh no, sorry, that's B, my bad. That would be B prime. Okay, and now let's do our C. Our C is 1 and 2. So it's 1 and 2. So we have to do plus 3 and then minus 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. And then -3 and a 2. It's different signs. So 3 minus 2 is 1. We have more negatives. It's -1. So our new point should be 4 and -1. So let's go to 4, -1. 4. Here's -1. And this should be my C prime. If we did everything correctly, everything should line up exactly like that other triangle. And there we go. That is our new triangle. Let's see the answer from the book. That is correct. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a better understanding of this lesson. We'll do more practice problems together. If you have any more questions, please rewatch this video. Thank you. See you in class.
Perfect.